Today's presentation is about yoga for health promotion. We would like to address some of the aspects of health promotion in this presentation. The major objective of today's lecture is focused on introduction on human body, then how the universe and our systems are connected, what exactly is about the overall systems in the body. We will just try to introduce various systems like cardiovascular, respiratory, and also we will focus on the effect of yoga in preventing some of the metabolic respiratory disorders as well as in the management of stress and its consequences. We will also see in today's presentation how yoga can be utilized for personality development and how it is a useful tool for that. Similarly, as a yogic practitioner and the trainer, a teacher, we also would like to mention some of the aspects of dinacharya and ritucharya with special reference to yogic lifestyle. What should be the do's and don'ts of our routine? So, let me begin with introduction to the human body. And here I would like to mention one important aspect of our traditional healthcare system, that we believe that the universe is represented in our body. And many similarities are seen in the universe and in our body. Yogic interventions try to have a connection to the universe by aligning our systems as a whole. And then we can contribute more considering our body as a tool so that we can achieve dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. So this is nothing but the universe within, and we are going to focus few major aspects of that. So let us begin with the most important system in our body, circulatory system, and it comprises of heart, all the vessels, mainly like veins and arteries. And the major role of circulatory system is pumping the blood throughout the body so that our oxygen gets reached to each and every cell, and CO2, heat, water, nutrients, waste are getting exchanged, and whatever is useful for us, it is being kept with the cells, and the waste products is also being discarded. So the major roadways, you can say, that this serves the purpose of circulatory system. And circulatory system also has a major role in terms of getting us the major energy source like oxygen. And when respiratory systems inhale our oxygen from the atmosphere, that oxygen is carried by the blood to each and every cell and all the components in our body. So this is very important system. It comprises of, like I mentioned, heart, arteries, and veins. So heart has basically 4 chambers. Ventricles are the many like major area where the pumping occurs, and auricles are the receiving chambers where the deoxygenated and oxygenated blood is getting received inside that pumping kind of a arrangement. And heart is something which is there beating right from our intrauterine life till the last breath of our life. So we have to take care of heart as a muscle, and also where we can assist the circulation by improving the muscle tone, by improving the circulation in the peripheral areas of our body. So the load on heart gets reduced, and we are going to discuss how that will happen. The second system which I would like to mention is excretory system, and it comprises of kidney, urethra, bladder, and whatever the waste products are getting generated, they are getting eliminated in terms of urine via excretory system. It filters the blood so that our internal nutrient system, the pH of the blood, is constant, and with the help of excretory system, we are maintaining that balance of nutrients and waste. So there is very important role of excretory system, and we are aware if there is retention of this water component in the body, there is edema, inflammatory changes, kidney problems. They all result in overloading the cardiac system and the other parts of the body. So this is also one of the important system which gets rid of the waste from the body. Now, the digestive system is the major component where the complex food atoms are getting break down into macromolecules, micromolecules, and they are getting used as a nutrient. So, if we are having a sattvic food or rajasic food or tamasic food, the effect on our body is totally based on how that food is getting break down. And it is proved that sattvic food is more easier to digest, it is lighter for our body, and it gives minimum burden on all the digestive system. It also enhances the enzyme level and nourishes the biogut. So we have to be very much particular about selecting our diet. Digestive system not only serves the purpose of getting into the simpler formats of carbohydrates, fats, and protein, but it also have many secretions in terms of enzymes, and they are very much important for overall cleansing, maintaining, and nourishing of the body. It comprises of stomach, esophagus, and large intestine, small intestine. Liver also serves as a part of digestive system, but liver additionally has many other components in its functional category. But digestive system is very important in terms of yogic practices because we all are aware the cleansing mechanisms explained in yogic practices, or the asanas which are having a particular pressure points on the lower abdomen or the abdomen, they are triggering, they are stimulating these enzymes, and ultimately there is a good digestion happening inside the body, and that's why there is no fat accumulation or other byproducts which are not required in the body. So digestive system is very much important in terms of yogic benefits. The next is reproductive system, and the main component of reproductive system is producing offspring, and it regulates sexual characters. There are like male and female wise, there are different organs like testes, uterus, and ovaries, and they serve the purpose of also regulating the steroidal hormones and also maintaining the sexual characteristics of male and female. Now, in terms of yogic practices, why I am putting this special note here, when it is seen that when we are doing yogic practices, these hormonal control are getting arise from the brain. So when you are continuously doing yoga for a period of time, maybe more than 2 or 3 months, that axis, that pituitary to the hormonal axis, it gets calmed down. And if there are imbalances in these hormones which regulates the reproductive system, they are also getting normalized. So it also has beneficial effects in terms of menstrual cycle and in terms of pregnancy related issues, infertility, PCOD kind of problems. So where there is a requirement of calming down your hormones, or sometimes there is a need of stimulating the hormones. In both the ways, yogic practices really help. The next system focuses on overall the structure and support mechanism of the body. It is called a skeletal system, and as the name suggests, it comprises of bones and various joints. It also has a component called cartilage, which is like a disc in between the two bones. Overall skeletal system provides the structure. On the basis of it, the muscles are arranged. Inside of that, there are integral organs which are getting supported, and they are also providing a shield for heart, lungs, and major organs inside the stomach. So, skeletal system also has bone marrow inside the bones, and that bone marrow creates new blood cells for circulation, and they also store lipids. And the major organs in the skeletal system are benefited because when we are moving the body in yogic practices, it is not like the gymming exercises. We are not doing excessive movements. We are having a synergic control movements in yogic practices, and that really helps in developing the tone and structure of the skeletal system without getting hurt. So that is very important component in yoga, because if you must have noticed, when we teach yoga, we never do only one-sided postures. If we are following a right-sided posture, we also balance it out with the left side. Similarly, if we are bending forward, we compensate that with the bending backward posture. So, in skeletal system, a 360-degree you can say the support is being provided by yogic practice. And initially in the like we were like developed from the apes to human. Initially, human used to have the apes used to use four limbs for walking, and that was like a structure where our vertebral column was horizontal. And as our development was done, it was like we were standing on our 2 feet, and that had a major impact on our lower back. So when you are doing yogic practices, that lower back gets additional benefit because we are constantly standing on our two legs, and that really creates a slight shift in center of gravity. So skeletal system is the most important system where yoga can really help. And not only in terms of the muscle tone or the joint stability or joint movement, but also this gets benefited even after you are 50 years plus, 60 years plus. So gymming has a particular age specific requirement, but in yoga that kind of you can say exclusivity is not there. We can practice yoga even if the person is 70-year-old or 80-year-old, and still with the help of yoga he can maintain this healthy system with a good support and good structures of the bone. So this is also very important thing to note. The next system is muscular. Like if the bones are strong, automatically the muscle is properly covering the bones, and all these muscles are useful for various movements of our joint. Because when the muscle gets contracted, our hands, our limbs, the feet gets into the motion, and we can have various sorts of movements. Now, when we come back to the yoga, what happens in muscular system is, in yoga we are creating a very focused kind of pressure on muscular system. Like suppose I am having asana, and I am trying to maintain that asana for a longer time. Like this is Stira Sukhamasana. So that means if I am sitting in Sukhasana, I am not having any stress on my muscles, I am not having any stress on the bones. So the ultimate aim of yogic practices is like to have any posture as beneficial as Sukhasana. Like suppose I can sit in Padmasana like Sukhasana, and I'm not having any trouble in my muscles, in my bones, and I can maintain that asana for a long. So what will happen, that effect of Padmasana will enhance the muscular function, not only muscular but skeletal function as a whole. Because we are allowing that particular posture to retain, and that will create a pressure zone where blood circulation will improve. That muscle will get pressed up, and that muscle will pump to the nearby arteries to push the blood towards heart. So what will happen, this will allow our heart to function effectively. So if my leg muscles are getting active, if my lower back muscles are getting toned up, then automatically the circulation in that area improves, and there will be less inflammation, less pain, the movement will be smooth. So yoga has that enhanced effect, or I would say that it is a focused effect on a particular muscle. And that is why there are so many postures which are related to a particular zone, like lower abdominal postures, core yoga postures, or back postures. So sometimes we also have Shirshasana like or Shalabhasana or Bhujangasana kind of postures, where we are creating the exact opposite angle to the natural curvatures in the musculature or even the skeletal system. So it really helps to bring back that tone and blood circulation. The next system is nervous system. It is like the control mechanism of our body, and it comprises of brain, spinal cord, and various nerves. So if there is a pain factor in the body, that means somewhere some nerve is getting that stimulation. That means because these nerves are very sensitive and they are embedded inside the body, like there is a cover of musculature, there is a cover of bones, and then inside it there are nerves. So the major role of nervous system is to control everything. And they are majorly divided into central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. So central nervous system is mainly working from brain and spinal cord, and peripheral is somatic, where voluntary movements are happening, autonomic, where sympathetic and parasympathetic drives are there. And it is proved that in yoga, we are balancing out that sympathetic zone of central nervous system, because we work on the stressors in yoga and we calm down the whole system. If you are balanced in your breathing, in your movements, automatically the stress on the sympathetic drive gets reduced, and you are more relaxed, and automatically it creates a balance in this nervous system, and there are good hormones releasing, the pain factors gets reduced. So many of the benefits are happening because our mind and our brain are connected, and that is how it really regulates the gut metabolism also. It also regulates the skeletal muscles and as well as the brain. So these are all connected systems. We cannot consider one system as individual unit, but they are working in a synergy, and yoga practices exactly focus on that synergy, how every unit of our body is connected, and that connection is with the help of nervous system. The next part of the human body system is integumentary system, where skin, nails, and these organs come, which are protecting the body. This is the outer layer of the body, and it transfers heat. They are sensory receptors, like touch. Touch is the major important aspect of this system. It also releases sweat, heat from the blood. It controls the body temperature. Now, like you must be wondering how this gets benefited by yoga. So it is proven with various researches that when a person is practicing yoga for a longer duration, the the temperature and you can say the heat factor in the body is regulated. And like when we are doing excessive exercise, we feel very sweaty, and then suddenly there is loss of energy, suddenly there is loss of nutrients. But in yoga, this sudden change in the temperature is not happening. It is very gradual, and it is in the controlled environment. Like suppose I am starting with some warm-ups, then I'm slowly moving it to the joints. Then slowly I'm having postures, then pranayam, then again relaxation, then again stimulation into say Surya Namaskar, and again relaxation. So this is a complete cycle of yoga class for 1 hour and or maybe for 45 minutes. Even if a person is practicing yoga for 15 minutes, that person will follow this cycle. So what will happen, this gradual increase of heat and gradual balance of the temperature will be there, and it will not make you tired. In fact, after yogic practices, you will feel more energetic. You will not be bothered by extreme temperature outside or extreme cold temperatures outside. You will be more balanced, like those who are very much pro in these yogic practices or pranayam, they can be comfortable in extreme heat or in extreme cold. It's just like that. So this system is majorly affected as an end result of yogic practices. The next is endocrine system, which I have mentioned that when the brain functions are getting calmed down and if the stresses are automatically handled, automatically the endocrine system gets benefited. Because this system is having very small control zone inside the brain, which is called as pituitary gland, and then that gland is like a master gland of all the other glands in the body, and that regulates the function. Now, the hormones are very small units of bioenergies. They get released and they work on that particular target organ. And this is like a indirect control of body function. They maintain homeostasis. That means everything is kept in synergy, everything is kept in balanced state, and that is why if endocrine system is disturbed, even a smaller quantity of hormones are getting up or down, there will be a bigger impact on the body symptoms. So this system is very important in terms of like diseases in PCOD, infertility, or other factors of pituitary gland disorders. So when we are practicing yoga, we are trying to also generate good hormones which regulate the good functions, which generate good enzymes, and ultimately they help for homeostasis. So all the stressors, all the fear, fright, and other mechanisms are getting reduced due to yogic practices, and all the organs which are there as the target organs for endocrine system are benefited. So this is also to be noted that endocrine system is very importantly focused in yogic practices. Particularly, I would like to mention some of the asanas like Simhasana, Vyagrasana, or where we are pressing this the area of neck against the chest. There will be a positive pressure inside the neck, and that will stimulate the thyroid. So there are so many postures where Sarvangasana is a very important asana where these are getting directly stimulated and good hormones are coming into the system. The next is lymphatic system. It works along with circulatory system actually, and whatever the waste products are there remaining in the body, they are getting cashed up. They are coming back and getting processed in the spleen. If the blood component is good, they are getting back to the circulatory system. So major organs are lymph nodes, and if there is infection, first line of defense will be a lymphatic system. And if this system is slightly hampered, there will be changes in the body in terms of immunity. So this really needs focus in terms of yogic practices. And I would again like to mention one more point here. When we say that we maintain the asana, we maintain the posture, and we are creating a good, positive pressure on particular organ, and we try to improve the blood circulation. Now imagine if I am improving the blood circulation, it's like flushing of that particular area. So if I am putting pressure, that blood supply will go with a force. It will reach to the cellular element. It will enrich those cells. It will take back the waste products along with the lymph, and it will be drained out. So a good fresh supply of blood can be sent back there. So what is happening? When you maintain a certain posture for a longer duration, for 10 breaths, for 15 breaths, and slowly you improve your endurance for that particular asana. Suppose I am maintaining the Sarvangasana for 7 minutes, and that 7 minutes is sufficient to really take back all the toxins and work on the circulation, work on the lymphatics. They will drain all the toxins from the body, and once you release that posture, whole body will be flushed with new supply of blood, and that gives you energy. That gives you uninterrupted flow of energy. All the channels will be cleaned up. It's like lymphatic system is like you can say assistant to the circulatory system. Whatever is left behind, it cleans, and that is why lymphatics are very important in yogic practices. The next and the most important one is respiratory system, and as I mentioned, all these systems are connected. We cannot say that yoga only helps in respiratory system or only helps in skeletal system, but they are all connected. Now imagine you are inhaling air, and like generally what we do is 15 to 20 times in a minute we inhale air, and it's like 500 ml, half a liter per breath. Suppose I am able to control my breathing pattern with the Hippocratic or breathing exercise or home practice or maybe Kapalbhati. So there are these techniques in yoga which on respiratory with a focus. And if I'm trying to improve that respiratory mechanism, reduce the breathing per minute to say like 10 to 15. What will happen? Initially, there was a can be released into the blood, and blood can give time to the respiratory system. There will be extra time, fraction of seconds additionally given to the blood, and there will be that particular time will be helpful to drain out all carbon dioxide. And then maybe suppose I'm improving my breathing capacity from 500 ml per breath to even 50 per ml per breath. So that is an improvement of 150 ml of air per breath. So it's like if I'm inhaling 5 liters of air in a minute, it will be like more than that, and I will be improving my stamina. If my body is enriched oxygen, it is like fuel for working of the body. And if I'm getting enough fuel, I can run at the maximum speed without getting tired. So that's the focus of yogic practices, and you can really sometimes be surprised that how these various asanas, postures, pranayam, and all these practices are developed in sync with the breath. And that is the important function. Like if breath is in synergy with the movement, automatically the stressors are getting eliminated. And that's how the yogic practices work. They are not focused on only one. Like in gym, what we generally been advised is like, okay, now you can do cardiac exercise. Now you can do endurance exercise. So it's not like in yoga practices. Doing something as a holistic practice, which will benefit each and every system in the body. Now, what will be the effect of yoga on body? Exactly how it will work. So that is the important aspect of promotion. Because with promotion, the term itself means whatever is the current state of your health, we will improve that. Sometimes the yoga class may be comprising of some patients who are suffering with diabetes, or some patients who are already suffering with sleep or having some issues in movement. So now that is their current state of health. How we can improve that current state of health and maintain that particular state for a while. We don't want to deteriorate from the existing state of health, but we want to improve it. Howsoever the effect is, we want to get it to the next level. And slowly, that health promotion will happen over the period of time. And maybe we will be in a position to reduce the medication, reduce the stress elements. So the effect of yoga on body works in this aspect. The first is I would like to mention on metabolic disorders. So metabolic disorders or metabolic syndrome itself means something is wrong with the metabolism. Metabolism is related to the digestive system. It is also related to liver. It is also related to our excretory system. It is also related to our brain. So exactly what happens, how we define this syndrome, if the blood glucose levels are high, blood pressure is always high, there is the increase in lipid profile, there is weight gain, and the good cholesterols are getting reduced. So overall, the body weight and functionality both are hampered in metabolic syndrome, and eventually the person gets burned out easily. They get tired. There is anxiety. Sometimes they also face some of the issues with sleep or excretory systems. They also feel sometimes the constipation like areas or pain in the legs because of the body weight. So how yogic intervention really help in metabolic syndrome? There are a majority three several benefits. First is improvement at physiological level. That means whatever is systemic function in the body, yogic practices enhance that function. That glucose homeostasis will be improved, lipid profile will be improved. If there is inflammation in the body, it will be reduced because now body is into a movement zone, and that movement is not sudden. That movement is not a drastic change for the body. They are doing it slowly and steadily. So, the long-term effects are seen in metabolic syndrome because all these factors, sugar, blood pressure, lipid, take a while to receive that signal and to react. Okay. The second important component of yogic intervention is improvement in gene expression level. So the body tries to rectify the mistakes. The good proteins will be manufactured. They will send signal to the good protein. The body tries to calm down the anxiety of the cells. So yogic intervention really help on that level. And the third improvement is on the physical level. So overall, the weight reduction will be there, improved BMI, fat percentage will be improved. So because the mobility is something which is achieved at the end of yogic practices, and their metabolic syndrome can be addressed. But definitely, this is not something like you enroll for 15 days yoga course and you are having 5 kgs of weight loss. It is not supposed to be understood here. This is something which is sustainable weight loss. And that is not just weight loss. It is something which is also acting on circulatory system, also acting on liver, blood pressure, and glucose. If person continues to slowly improve his or her yogic practices, then automatically there won't be relapse of metabolic syndrome. And again, not to mention dietary factors are also important to take care of. The second point is how yoga is helpful in stress and sequences. Like if we divide that into three, it firstly proves the health. Okay. Second factor is relieving existing pain, and like I mentioned, nerve tool, the auto-immunization for and focus on the mind are some of the integral factors of it. The pain bearing capacity is also improved. How we are reacting to the pain is also changed with yoga. There is again one component of physical education. We get more aware when we are doing yogic practices and mental hygiene. Now, this word hygiene is coming there because now we can keep the good things and start the things on the psychological and cognitive level. And again, with the physical education, get more aware about our body systems. If we are getting good results out of yogic practices, automatically that confidence builds up. Sometimes those patients who are chronically suffering with certain conditions, slowly they get confidence that I can walk for a while, I can sit on the floor, or I can climb the stairs without support. So that gives the more confidence and also improves the practices. The benefits are also working with the effective circulation, blood pressure, and overall creating the peace with the current body status. It uplifts the mood, it brings positivity and calms the mind by improving the good hormones, and it also makes you concentrated on the factors that breath and postures are related. So that is very important aspect of weaknesses as a stress buster. And to the next point, can we improve personality with yoga? Because now you already teacher yoga teachers, and we want you to be a brand ambassador of yoga practice. You need to be the role model so that students will look up to you and they will be more motivated to practice yoga. So can we do that? Yes, we can definitely do, because it is not like drastically changing yourself. A personality development is something where you improve on your strengths and try to control the weaknesses, or try to shift those weaknesses to the strength. It's like that. And if a person can develop that attitude in terms of physical capacities, emotional reactions, intellectual capacities, social bonding, and spiritual awareness, definitely the holistic personal development is here. We are not talking about how you are dressed or how you are communicating, but as a whole, the holistic kind of development is happening. Because you are more aware about your body, you are getting health benefits. Because even if you are a teacher, you are also practicing yoga on a daily basis. So you are also getting the benefits of yoga automatically. And it's a dual system of gain, because we call it as win condition. You are also teaching something that is inspiring the next yoga teacher, but at the same time you are also receiving the benefits of. And and that develops the overall personality of any individual, and you should think on strength and weakness part. So identify what are your strengths. If you think that you are good at postures, so work on it. If you think that you are somewhere lacking on the certain kriyas or certain shuddhi kriyas in yoga, work on it. More practice will make you perfect on that particular weakness, and you can shift that weakness towards your strength. And that takes time. Don't rush into things. Just try to be better self every day with every day's practice. If you consider all aspects of systems of body and mind, the research has already shown that 85% of yoga teachers start with a primary aim of health for themselves. Like they just start with physical fitness, they get into yogic practices, and they slowly realize that yoga has changed their behavior, overall thinking, mental capacities, and now they are feeling more flexible, calm, energetic, and now they are exploring the spiritual aspect of yoga. So it is a journey, and that is how self promotion happens. You start with just the physical level of it, you slowly improve to the psychological aspect, then slowly improve to the spiritual aspect, and ultimately you reach to the self actualization. That's the ultimate aim of our yogic practices. So these are the 20 benefits I have identified, keeping in view all the systems in our body, that it helps weight loss, it prevents premature aging. Like I mentioned, at any age, you can start yogic practice and maintain till the end. Yogic practices also help in strong and build flexibility into muscle. It improves sleep quality and also enhance our hair growth, sexual function, helps in pregnancy and menstrual cycle because they are working on hormones also. Yogic breathing techniques improve skin because there is more oxygenation, more draining in organs, more oxygen supply, more blood supply to the skin as a main part of our system. It strengthens the bone, strengthens the immune system, also improves the oxygenation in the body, ultimately boosts the circulation, improves health. Because when you are inhaling more air, automatically you are mixing that oxygen into blood at the larger level, and automatically your system is enriched. If you are full on that aspect, automatically the blood circulation will be improved, and heart will be working on a less beats per minute. And it's also proven with research that a person with tachycardia, where they increased heart, they feel more anxiety, more panic. But when they practice yoga for a couple of months, there is a substantial reduction in that heartbeats per minute. If they are experiencing 90, 95, 85 kind of heartbeat and they are continuously in that panic mode, automatically that comes down to 10 to 15 beats per minute reduction is observed, and they are maintaining that heart rate at 75 to 85. And certain practices are also proving that same thing. It also lowers blood pressure, it increases pain tolerance. About that, I would like to mention that we generally practice yoga for pregnant ladies, and we train them how to, because in pregnancy the whole physiology, the whole systemic approach is changed. And that time we try to make them aware about their breathing pattern. We also work on the postures which will help the lower abdomen and the back for improved tone and strength. We have observed that those women who practice some sort of supervised yoga in their pregnancy, they are more pain tolerable during the labor, and they can they also enhance the normal delivery. And there is reduction in the cesarean section. That also is an important factor. And as I have mentioned, hormone secretion is also balanced out and also helps into that whole physical change. It balances the pulse rate, like if the heart rate is getting balanced, automatically the pulse rate will also improve. And blood sugar levels or overall lipid levels are also getting balanced because of yogic practices. Now, being a yoga teacher, how we need to follow the daily routine. Because, like I mentioned, you are the role model for your students. So we have to be having our own ritual for the day. And if that ritual is based on the Dinacharya principles, which is explained in Ayurveda, that really helps to maintain the whole system of yogic practices. Getting up early in the morning, like around 4:30, yeah, Brahma Muhurta Utti hai. So it's like 4:30 to 5:30 is the right time to get up. Elimination of waste, cleansing of senses, and applying oil or abhyangam for head and body, or with uttan. These are the practices which I already explained. Putting oil inside nostrils, putting holding up the oil or pulling practices like we mentioned. So these are the techniques, double Ganeshnasyam, which are explained in Dinacharya practices, and they will help you out. Even Jalaneti, that helps to cleanse the respiratory, the first passage, which is the first layer of any infection inside the body. So if you are practicing cleansing mechanism, automatically your body will be all the time clean and ready to exercise all the system. Then practicing yoga every morning, taking right meals like lunch, dinner, following a sleep ritual that really helps as a yoga teacher. If you are having classes in the morning and you are having late night routine, then definitely it is not going to help you because you feel tired all the time. So definitely following the Dinacharya practices helps as a teacher, and long-term benefits are amazing because the biological clock, Sharia works with the help of biology, takes digestion, absorption, assimilation, and all discipline practices in our body. It also enhances the peace and happiness. So ultimately, longevity of the life is improved. Not only Dinacharya, but seasonal regime needs to be followed. It is called as Ritucharya. So with the change in season, there should be change in the environment we live in. There should be change in certain practice with in routine because we are part of the ecology. We are part of this environment, universe, and we need to react to that changes in a specific way. So that also needs to be understood, and it is explained in Ayurvedic Samhitas, particularly in terms of seasonal changes. So it is said that spring overlap with kapha and summer is overlap with pitta. And then fall and winter are getting overlap with factors. So we have to work accordingly in terms of Ritucharya. Ritucharya is the ancient Ayurvedic practice, and it is very much helpful for maintaining the yearly cycle of health. And many of the teachers or students they suffer a little bit of seasonal problems like cold, flu, or having headaches or something like that. And work on that. So if our body is healthy throughout the year, automatically the overall sustainability of this is achieved. So, in summary, in a nutshell, we can say that yogic intention to have health promotion is not an overnight thing. It is not. We have to keep on doing it. So to achieve that, it is yathashakti nirantaram. It's like whatsoever is current capacity, current level of your experience, start with that. Slowly, you keep on doing that, keep on practicing that. It's another thing. It is something which is like you can do till the last breath of the life. So samadhana sautaya, like to achieve samadhan, to achieve that happiness, joy, and overall contentment in the life, and it is also a healthy life, not just content life, but healthy content life. Yoga serves the purpose, and that needs to be practiced. Yatha Shakti Nirantara. So that's the very important message from Janardhan Ji, and one more important message is there, which is about the health. So it is not just the absence of disease, but it is a dynamic expression of life and how that life should be. It's very joyful, loving, and enthusiastic. So that is how we want to achieve the health promotion. And I would like to mention that these are some of the aspects of health promotion. And once as a student, as a teacher of yoga science, you will understand how these systems are interlinked and how yoga can provide the ultimate benefit. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I hope this lecture is useful to understand a few fundamentals about yoga interventions for health promotion. Dhanyawad. Namaste.